Today we'll be working with something that is organic, an organic shape. So in this case, it's going to be a plant. You're looking at my bouquet setup. Like with the other day, the focus is on the negative space. So that's the space that's the empty stuff, the stuff that is not occupied by flowers. Here's what's different. The other day I had you work on outlining all your objects first. That was your first task. This time I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to sit and draw the whole thing out. I want you to only look at the negative shape. So yeah, that's hard, and it's hard to wrap your mind around. I may have told some of you that when you're working on a composition or when you're working on an object, it's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. This assignment in particular is exactly like that, because one piece ties into the other. Now you may have difficulty figuring out where you are in the drawing, and it can be difficult isolating a open area, but here's a couple of tips. One thing that I'm doing is I am closing one eye, and it looks weird. I'm sure I look bizarre when I'm drawing because I'm concentrating really hard too, but I'm closing one eye so I can focus on a specific area. It helps my brain. You're welcome to try it too. If you think it's nuts, don't do it. But it is worthwhile because that's what I do. I close one eye if I'm confused about the shape of the negative stuff. And it kind of looks like I'm drawing a flower right here, like I'm drawing the outline of the flower, but I'm actually not. I'm looking at just the empty space below the flower. So the air below the flower. And if there's another object crossing over into that, I have to draw that too. So this is very hard to do. It's difficult. And it is okay if you get lost, but if you do get lost in your drawing where you can't figure out where you left off, pause for a minute, take a step back, and then look and find your way again. Don't just start if you're lost. You can always call me over for help because this is a challenge. It's not easy, and I can help you with it. So again, you're looking at those spaces that aren't occupied, and you are drawing those spaces only. What I also do that helps me a lot is I use continuous line drawing. So continuous line drawing, we'll practice it at some point, but what it is once you put your pencil down on the paper, you don't lift up until you're finished. Now the idea behind continuous line, because it sounds a little bit strange, the idea behind that is that once you put your pencil down, you keep your eye locked on what you're drawing. So when I'm drawing, I'm not looking at my paper when I'm doing the continuous line, at least not often. I may be flicking my eyes there occasionally, but I'm mostly looking at whatever I'm drawing. So in this case, it's probably like the edge of the flower or the leaf, and I'm moving my fingers in time with my eyes. It's a crazy thing. So my eyes and fingers are moving simultaneously, and my fingers are interpreting what my eyes are seeing. And you can do it too. You're welcome to try that here. Again, we will be doing continuous line drawing so you understand the gist of how to do it. But that's something that helps me out too. And remember, take your time. Don't just rush it. Don't get mad. Slow down. You have time to do this. And this is going to be a semi-abstract kind of piece. Okay, I think I have all the negative shapes outlined. So now I'm going to go in there with my pastel, my oil pastel, and I'm going to be filling in the negative shapes. Now just because I have my outline in place doesn't mean that my outline's perfect. Doesn't mean that I'm going to follow that exactly. I'm still going to make changes and fix things as I go. And that's true of painting too. This isn't just dry media stuff. This will relate later. So I'm filling in all those shapes. I continue to check, bounce my eye off of the object and then to paper. So there is a lot of that. There's a lot of back and forth between, okay, bouquet, paper with my eyes. And that's what I want you to do too. Check this stuff. The pencil outline helps, but filling it in improves it by a lot. That's where I am nitpicky when I'm actually going in with the color. I'm trying to get the exact shape. If you make a mistake, don't stress it. It's okay. Here's the last piece, and that is just taking your eraser and erasing out all of your pencil marks. Now it is interesting to kind of step back and look at these because they're kind of design oriented. They look interesting. They're going to be sort of abstract and almost like wallpaper in a way. And if they are blobby and weird, I mean, who cares? It's all about learning to see, learning to look at space that is technically not there, right? Because that not there space, that empty space, is really important.